Tonight, we will tell you a story that stretches back through millennia, a tale of beings that soar through the heavens and dwell in the deepest waters. We will journey into the heart of Asian mythology to discover the true nature of dragons, ancient forces of wisdom, power, and profound benevolence. You will learn why these magnificent creatures are revered as symbols of prosperity and good fortune across vast continents, how they are believed to have shaped the very landscape, forming winding rivers and towering mountains. You will hear about the majestic dragon kings who command the oceans and bring the life-giving rains, and understand their deep connection to emperors and the very destiny of nations. We will explore how human heroes sought their aid and received their wisdom, and discover the unique forms and paths these beings take in the legends of Korea, Japan, and the serpentine Naga of Southeast Asia. Finally, you will uncover the mystical significance of the dragon pearl, a symbol of immense power and spiritual enlightenment, and see how the timeless legacy of dragons continues to permeate art, festivals, and philosophy throughout Asia. Oh, and if you enjoy these stories, please consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Your support helps these tales reach more listeners, and feel free to suggest new topics in the comments. All right, find a comfortable spot, settle in, and let your body sink into the quiet comfort of your surroundings. Take a deep, calming breath, and as you exhale, allow any lingering thoughts or tensions to gently drift away. Our story begins in the mists of time, long before written history, when the world was new and powerful beings shaped the very fabric of existence. Today, we will immerse ourselves in a world where myth and reality intertwine, where ancient forces shape the landscape and influence the destinies of people. We will speak of dragons, beings whose power and majesty have long been ingrained in the consciousness of humanity. In the East, from the vast, sun-drenched steppes of China to the misty islands of Japan and Korea, and onward to the humid emerald jungles of Southeast Asia, dragons appear as powerful, noble creatures, deeply revered and respected. They are symbols of prosperity, wisdom, and a celestial, life-giving force. In Asian legends, the dragon is typically perceived as a wise mentor, a generous benefactor, and a patron of humanity whose presence brings abundance, harmony, and order to the world. These Eastern dragons are rarely associated with destructive fire. Their immense, unfathomable power manifests in a different, far more subtle and creative way. They are masters of water, guardians of countless rivers, vast lakes, and deep oceans, the source of the life-giving rains that nourish crops and sustain all life on earth. It is they who summon the bountiful, blessed downpours that irrigate arid fields or calm the furious storms at sea, ensuring safe passage for fishermen and merchant ships. Their inseparable link to water makes them an integral part of the natural cycle, a mighty symbol of fertility, eternal renewal, and the endless flow of life. Their breath can be mist, their tears can be rain, and their movements can be the waves that shape the coastlines. The wisdom of these ancient beings seems limitless. Eastern dragons are often depicted as the oldest of creatures, having witnessed many millennia, knowing the deepest secrets of the universe, and capable of bestowing sacred knowledge upon the few who are truly worthy. They possess incredible physical strength. They are intelligent, perceptive, have a deep understanding of human nature, and sometimes act as just judges or impartial arbiters, resolving the conflicts of mortals. Their gaze, it is said, pierces through any illusion, and their advice, though at times seeming enigmatic or cryptic, always leads to truth and the right path. Visually, Asian dragons differ markedly from the familiar European images. They are most often represented as immense, graceful, serpentine beings, with elongated bodies covered in shimmering scales, with 4 clawed legs and a head resembling that of a camel, deer, or even an ox, often crowned with majestic horns. They typically lack wings, but are capable of soaring through the heavens, gliding on the clouds as if on invisible mighty currents of air. Their flight is not a fearsome dive, but rather a majestic, smooth dance, bringing either a blessed rain or heralding important fateful events. The color of their scales can vary from emerald green to shining gold, from deep azure to mysterious black, and each shade carries its own special meaning and unique symbolism. For example, golden dragons are often associated with imperial power, royal majesty, and extraordinary luck, while blue dragons are linked with spring, growth, and rebirth. These mighty beings dwell not only in the boundless skies or deep, uncharted waters. Their homes are magnificent, radiant underwater palaces, hidden in the deepest trenches of the oceans or at the bottom of sacred crystal clear lakes, where they live in unimaginable splendor, surrounded by countless treasures and numerous servants. Or they may hide in high mountain caves, serving as guardians of the earth, its depths, and its hidden riches. Their unseen presence is felt everywhere, in the bends of swift rivers, in the outlines of majestic mountain ranges, in the mist rising over fertile valleys, and in the power of every waterfall. Thus, the Asian dragon is a fundamental part of the Eastern worldview, an embodiment of the harmony between heaven and earth, between man and nature. It symbolizes a force that always creates, never destroys, a wisdom that leads to prosperity and spiritual growth, and a grace that brings life and abundance. It is an image that has inspired great artists, wise poets, and powerful rulers for many millennia. It is in this light that we will view these great, revered creatures, immersing ourselves in stories that tell of their influence on the shaping of continents, their inseparable bond with royal dynasties, the heroes they aided in difficult times, and the deep, unfathomable wisdom they hold in their ancient hearts. Prepare for a journey into a world where dragons are not targets for hunters or objects of fear, but something much more profound, part of the very fabric of being, the eternal whisper of the wind in a bamboo grove, and the mighty roar of the waves on the shore of an ancient sea, bringing peace and mystery. May these ancient stories help you find your own peace. Consider the very earth forming beneath your feet, how rivers carve their paths through valleys, how mountains rise to the sky. In Asian legends, these grand natural phenomena are not merely the result of geological processes, but the consequence of the dragon's actions, their breath, their movements, their divine will. Here, dragons are not just inhabitants of the world, they are its architects, its creators, its living foundation, who breathe life and form into it. In ancient Chinese myths, when the world was just beginning to take shape, it was the dragons who drew the first lines upon the pristine landscape. Imagine a gigantic dragon gliding across the virgin earth, and where its mighty body touched the surface, deep riverbeds appeared. Its powerful, coiling tails carved out valleys, and its claws gripped the land, raising mountain ranges toward the sky. Thus, it is believed that the winding course of the Yellow River, the Huanghe, one of China's greatest rivers, was created by the movement of a celestial dragon that descended to earth to bring water and life. Feel this ancient energy, this power capable of changing the face of the planet. At the heart of many Asian cosmogonies lies the idea that dragons are the embodiment of cosmic energy, or Kyo. They did not just create mountains and rivers, they were them, their living manifestation. Mountain ranges are often described as dragon veins, Long Mai, through which the vital life force of the earth flows. When you stand at the foot of a high mountain, you can almost feel the pulse of a slumbering giant. The very peaks, shrouded in mist, could be the heads of dragons, and the slopes their bodies, covered with ancient forests. In China, the concept of dragon veins, invisible energy lines that connect the earth with the heavens and determine the well-being of a location, is particularly important. These veins are not just the paths of dragons, but their roots across the earth's surface. And it was along them that cities were built, temples were placed, and burial sites were determined, all to harmonize the space with the flows of cosmic energy. In Korean myths, dragons, or Yong, are also closely linked to the formation of the landscape. It is believed that the numerous mountains and deep sea bays of the Korean peninsula were created by mighty dragons that once lived in these lands. Their breath caused mists, their movements caused earthquakes, and their rest created deep, tranquil lakes. You can imagine the mist rising over the morning mountains, and it is like the breath of an ancient dragon awakening from a long sleep. Japanese Ryū also play a role in the creation of the world, especially concerning the seas and islands. Japan, as an island nation, naturally connects its geography with sea deities and dragons. Fishing banks, deep trenches, turbulent currents, all are the result of the actions of sea dragons who dwell in their underwater palaces. They not only created but also maintained the balance of the waters, ensuring an abundance of marine life and protecting the shores from storms. Legends tell how a mighty Ryū could raise waves the size of mountains, or, conversely, calm the fiercest storm with a single movement of its tail. Vietnamese legends, especially the myth of the dragon ancestor, Lac Long Quan, and the fairy progenitor, O Ko, directly link the origin of the Vietnamese people and their land to a dragon. Lac Long Quan, the son of the sea dragon, was the one who helped form the land, carve out rivers, and teach people how to cultivate rice and build homes. The Vietnamese land, according to these traditions, is a literal extension of the dragon's body, and every hill, every lake carries its ancient power. Dragons in these cultures are not just creatures from tales. They are living symbols of fundamental natural forces. They personify the water that gives life and the earth that nourishes it. Their presence in the landscape is a reminder of the deep connection between humanity and the natural world, that we live on an earth shaped not only by wind and water, but by the breath and movement of great beings. When you look at a winding river or majestic mountain, remember that perhaps before you lies the trail of an ancient dragon, its eternal rest, or its unseen path. Their stories are not just tales of the past. They are an explanation of how the world came to be as it is, and why everything in it is interconnected. These myths offer a deep understanding not only of geography, but of philosophy. For every lake, every mountain peak, every bend in the river is part of the great dragon's body, pulsating with life. These powerful beings, so intimately woven into the very fabric of existence, were often led by figures of immense authority known as the Dragon Kings. In China, these legendary rulers were called Long Wang, mighty deities governing the waters of the world. Imagine, if you will, vast, shimmering palaces hidden beneath the turbulent surface of the ocean or nestled deep within the silent, ancient depths of great rivers and tranquil lakes. These were the legendary dragon palaces, or Long Gong, magnificent underwater realms adorned with pearls, jade, and coral, where the Dragon Kings held court. Each palace was a marvel of aquatic architecture, glowing with an otherworldly light, teeming with an array of marine life serving their sovereign, from schools of iridescent fish to giant crabs acting as vigilant guards. The air within these submerged halls was not water, but a special ethereal substance that allowed the Dragon Kings and their courtiers to breathe freely, a realm of perpetual twilight illuminated by glowing algae and phosphorescent creatures, where ancient wisdom was whispered through the currents. There were typically 4 principal Dragon Kings, each presiding over one of the 4 seas that encompassed the land: Ao Guang of the East Sea, Ao Qin of the South Sea, Ao Run of the West Sea, and Ao Shun of the North Sea. Their dominion, however, extended far beyond these maritime boundaries. They commanded all forms of water, from the smallest mountain springs to the mightiest rivers, from the gentle morning mist to the raging tempest. For the people of ancient China, whose very lives depended on the whims of nature, the Dragon Kings were perhaps the most crucial deities. It was they who brought the life-giving rains, ensuring fertile harvests and warding off famine. When the fields lay parched and cracked under a relentless sun, desperate prayers and elaborate offerings would be directed to the Long Wang, beseeching them to open the heavens. Temples dedicated to the Dragon Kings stood in countless villages, often near wells or rivers, serving as focal points for these vital supplications. Their altars often laden with incense and fresh produce. Conversely, when the rivers swelled and threatened to burst their banks, unleashing devastating floods upon villages and farmlands, it was also the Dragon Kings who held the power to calm the waters. Their control over rainfall was absolute, a power that could bestow prosperity or unleash ruin. They were not distant, uncaring gods. Rather, they were seen as active participants in human affairs, their moods directly impacting the welfare of the people. A displeased Dragon King could withhold rain, bringing about a prolonged drought that withered crops and caused widespread suffering, forcing communities to face starvation. An enraged Long Wang might unleash torrents of rain, leading to catastrophic floods that swept away homes and lives, transforming fertile plains into desolate swamps. Their wrath could manifest as destructive tidal waves on the coast or sudden, inexplicable fogs that disoriented travelers and sailors, leading them astray. Stories abound of local officials and desperate villagers performing elaborate ceremonies, offering precious incense, food, and even sacrifices to appease an angry Dragon King or to persuade a benevolent one to grant their wishes. These appeals often involved solemn processions, where a carefully crafted dragon effigy, sometimes hundreds of feet long, would be paraded through the streets, its movements mimicking the serpentine grace of the Long Wang. Dragon dances, vibrant and energetic, were performed to stir the dragons from their slumber and encourage them to bestow blessings. Sometimes a particularly severe drought might even lead to the burning of a straw dragon effigy, a symbolic act of desperation to provoke the Dragon King into releasing rain, even if through anger. The Dragon Kings, while generally portrayed as wise and just rulers, possessed a formidable power, capable of inspiring both profound reverence and deep fear. Their benevolence was sought, and their wrath was greatly feared. They were the ultimate arbiters of the natural world's most vital resource, holding the delicate balance of life and death in their scaly claws. Their presence permeated every aspect of daily life, from the farmer praying for rain to the sailor navigating treacherous waters. The very landscape of China, carved by rivers and nourished by monsoons, was a testament to their enduring influence. They were part of a vast celestial bureaucracy, often depicted as subordinates of the Jade Emperor, receiving his decrees and carrying out his will, yet retaining immense autonomy within their watery domains. Every river, every lake, every significant body of water might have its own minor dragon king or dragon spirit, all ultimately answering to the four great Longwang, creating a complex network of aquatic governance. This intricate system ensured that the flow of water, and thus the flow of life, was meticulously managed across the land. The Dragon Kings truly embodied the dual nature of water itself, life-giving and destructive, serene and tempestuous, a force of creation and a force of chaos. Their forms, though often unseen, were imagined with immense scales, piercing eyes, and whiskers flowing like currents. To encounter a Dragon King in their true form was to witness raw, majestic power, a sight that could both inspire awe and induce profound terror. This profound connection to the elemental force of water made them central figures in the cosmic order, shaping not only the physical world, but also the spiritual landscape of ancient China. Given the dragons' immense power over the elements, their command over life-giving water, and their sacred association with the benevolent Dragon Kings, it was natural and inevitable that earthly rulers across China sought to align themselves with these magnificent, awe-inspiring beings. This profound connection elevated their rule beyond mere political power, rooting it in the cosmos, granting it undeniable divine legitimacy. In China, the emperor was not simply a temporal leader. He held the sacred title of the Son of Heaven, Tianzi, a mandate believed to be bestowed upon him directly by divine will, a celestial authority that set him apart from all other mortals and made him the intermediary between the celestial and earthly realms. The dragon, particularly the majestic five-clawed long, became the paramount and most potent symbol of this unparalleled imperial authority and sacred connection to the divine. It represented the emperor's very essence, his breath, his movement, and his destiny. You would encounter its awe-inspiring image woven into the very fabric of imperial life, defining the visual language of power and majesty. The emperor's formal attire, known as dragon robes, shimmered with intricate embroideries of these mythical creatures. These robes, often crafted from the finest, most exquisite silks, would feature dragons rendered in gleaming gold thread, vibrant reds, and imperial yellows, their countless scales catching the light with every subtle movement. Each meticulously rendered claw on the dragon's foot was a precise mark of supreme, unchallenged power, distinguishing it absolutely from lesser 3 or 4 clawed dragons that might be permitted for use by high-ranking nobles or officials. The dragon's fearsome yet benevolent form adorned the grand thrones upon which the emperor sat during solemn court sessions, their surfaces intricately carved into polished, dark wood or cast in gleaming bronze, often with the dragon's head serving as the imposing armrests or majestic back. Its likeness graced the sweeping upturned roofs and sturdy lacquered pillars of the Forbidden City, the emperor's vast palace complex, standing as a silent, eternal guardian over the imperial household. Even the very gates and formidable walls of the palace bore the dragon's image, signifying its pervasive protection. Beyond architecture and attire, the dragon also appeared on imperial ceramics, jade carvings, official seals, and even on the currency, permeating every aspect of the imperial state. The dragon symbolized the emperor's divine right to rule, his unparalleled wisdom that guided the nation, his formidable strength that protected its vast borders, and his inherent ability to bring lasting prosperity, peace, and harmony to the immense realm. It was believed that the dragon's auspicious qi, or vital life force and spiritual energy, flowed directly through the emperor, enabling him to govern justly, make wise decisions, and maintain cosmic balance. The appearance of a dragon in nature, perhaps a rare sighting of a creature resembling one, or even a specific cloud formation taking on its serpentine form in the sky, was considered a highly auspicious omen. Such an event signaled that the emperor's virtue and reign were pleasing to the heavens, promising bountiful harvests, an end to natural calamities like devastating droughts or ruinous floods, and an era of profound peace and stability for his countless subjects. These rare sightings often led to grand imperial pronouncements and widespread celebrations, further reinforcing the sacred bond between the ruler and the celestial powers. The dragon was not merely a representation of abstract power, it also embodied profound protection, dynamic order, and unyielding justice. It was believed that the emperor, infused with the dragon's potent energy and cosmic wisdom, possessed the sacred ability to ward off malevolent forces, both earthly and spiritual, repel invaders, and maintain a delicate cosmic balance throughout his immense domain. The subtle rustle of the emperor's dragon robe, adorned with countless embroidered scales that seemed to ripple with life, would have carried the silent, undeniable weight of the heavens, a palpable sense of divine authority and protective grace. The smooth, cold jade scepter, often carved with intricate dragon motifs, held firmly in the emperor's hand, felt like ancient concentrated power, a direct conduit to the dragon's might and the will of the cosmos. So profound, so sacred, and so exclusive was this connection that the use of the 5-clawed dragon by anyone other than the emperor himself or his immediate family was considered a grave offense, an act of audacious treason, often punishable by death. It was viewed as an outright usurpation of divine authority, a direct challenge to the established order, threatening dynastic stability and inviting cosmic retribution. Stories in histories and folklore even circulated that some emperors were born with subtle, dragon-like features, perhaps a birthmark resembling scales, or that their mothers had dreamt vividly of dragons before their birth, further cementing this mystical lineage and proving their divine selection. The dragon, therefore, was not just an emblem. It was an intrinsic part of imperial identity, a manifestation of the emperor's sacred mandate to rule. It represented the very essence of his power, his legitimacy, his destiny, and his transformative role, guiding his dynasty through history. Its ubiquitous presence was a constant reminder of the formidable, heaven-granted power within the imperial palace, embodied by the dragon spirit, ensuring centuries of prosperity, stability, and continuous renewal. The dragon's connection to the emperor was profound, but its influence extended far beyond the imperial court, reaching into the lives of ordinary people through the actions of great heroes. These legendary figures, often chosen by destiny, found themselves interacting with dragons, receiving their aid, or even embodying their spirit to overcome monumental challenges and benefit all of humanity. One of the most enduring and significant tales of such interaction belongs to Ryū the Great, a figure revered as the founder of China's first dynasty, the Xia dynasty. Before Ryū, the land was ravaged by the Great Flood, a catastrophe that dwarfed all others. Rivers overflowed their banks, turning vast plains into treacherous inland seas, swallowing villages and displacing countless people. For decades, attempts had been made to control the waters, notably by Ryū's father, Gun, who tried to build dams and dikes. But these efforts, based on containment, proved futile against the overwhelming power of the deluge. The waters continued to rise, and a deep despair gripped the land. It was into this desperate era that Ryū stepped forward. He understood that the traditional methods of damming and blocking were not the answer. Instead, he proposed a radical new approach, guiding the waters rather than resisting them. This required immense engineering skill, tireless effort, and a profound understanding of the land's natural contours. But it also required something more, something beyond human capability alone. It required the wisdom and power of the dragons. According to legend, as Ryū journeyed across the submerged lands, meticulously surveying the terrain and planning his vast network of channels and canals, he encountered divine assistance. Some accounts speak of the yellow dragon, or Yinglong, a powerful and ancient dragon often associated with rain and water, who appeared before Ryū. This magnificent creature, with scales shimmering like polished jade and eyes that held the wisdom of ages, did not merely watch. It actively participated in the monumental task. The yellow dragon, with its immense strength and intimate knowledge of the Earth's hidden currents, used its mighty tail to carve out new riverbeds and deepen existing channels. Imagine the sheer force, the ground trembling, and the earth groaning beneath its colossal form as it moved, effortlessly shaping the very landscape with a power that defied human comprehension. It flew before Ryū, its golden scales gleaming against the often stormy skies, guiding him through the most challenging terrains, revealing the optimal paths for the water to flow, paths that only a creature of its ancient lineage could discern. Other legends suggest that dragons provided Ryū with sacred maps, inscribed with the true layout of the world's waterways, or bestowed upon him magical tools that allowed him to move mountains and redirect torrents with unprecedented ease. Ryū worked tirelessly for 13 years, never returning home, even when he passed by his own village. He was utterly devoted to the task, sleeping little, eating simply, and enduring unimaginable hardships. The dragons, witnessing his unwavering dedication and his pure intention to save humanity, continued to lend their power. They helped him dig trenches, create lakes, and establish the intricate system that would finally bring the rampaging waters under control. The collaboration between the determined human hero and the wise, powerful dragons was a testament to a shared purpose, restoring harmony to the world. It was a partnership not of master and servant, but of mutual respect, where divine power met human perseverance. Yu's hands, though calloused and weary, worked in concert with the dragon's celestial might, each complementing the other in this monumental endeavor. When the last of the floodwaters receded, channeled safely to the sea, the land was transformed. Lush plains emerged, rivers flowed peacefully within their banks, and life began to flourish once more. Yu the Great, guided and aided by the dragons, had not merely stopped a flood, he had reshaped the very geography of China, creating the foundational river systems that would sustain its civilization for millennia. His success was not just a triumph of human ingenuity, but a divine endorsement, cementing his legacy as a sage king and the rightful founder of the Xia dynasty. This tale highlights a crucial aspect of the Asian dragon's nature, its willingness to assist humanity when the cause is just and the human heart is pure. Unlike Western dragons, often depicted as hoarders of gold or destructive beasts, the dragons of the East frequently served as benevolent guardians, imparting wisdom, offering protection, and even sacrificing their own power for the greater good. They were not merely symbols of imperial might, but active participants in the grand narrative of human progress, their wisdom and power interwoven with the destiny of the land and its people. Their presence in these stories affirmed a deeper cosmic order, where the natural world, embodied by these magnificent creatures, worked in concert with virtuous leadership to ensure prosperity and balance. These were not battles against dragons, but partnerships with them, forged in times of great need and remembered through the ages as pillars of communal survival and flourishing. The dragons were seen as essential allies, their immense power channeled not for domination, but for the cultivation of a harmonious existence between heaven, earth, and mankind. Their stories became living lessons, teaching generations about the importance of respecting nature's forces and seeking balance in all endeavors, reinforcing the idea that true strength lies in cooperation and understanding, rather than conquest. This deep veneration for dragons, born from such tales of benevolent aid, resonated across the entire continent, finding unique expressions in different cultures, each weaving the dragon into the fabric of their own legends. The benevolent presence of dragons extended far beyond China, weaving its way into the very fabric of Korean mythology, where these majestic beings, known as Yong, took on unique forms and narratives. In Korea, the dragons are often seen as benevolent beings associated with water and agriculture, dwelling in rivers, lakes, deep ponds, and the ocean. They are considered bringers of clouds and rain, making them essential for a prosperous farming society. Unlike the often winged dragons of the West, Korean dragons are typically depicted as serpentine, legless creatures or possessing characteristics of various animals, and are seen as symbols of good luck. A unique figure in Korean lore is the Imugi, a lesser dragon, often described as a hornless sea serpent, which aspires to become a true dragon. According to legend, an Imugi must survive for 1,000 years, at which point a pearl called a Yuiju will fall from the heavens. If the Imugi catches it, it will transform into a mighty Yong. From the Korean peninsula, the powerful influence of dragon lore flowed eastward across the sea, finding a new, distinct expression in the islands of Japan. Here, the mythical beings were known as Ryū, and while they shared many characteristics with their Chinese and Korean counterparts, serpentine bodies, often depicted with 3 powerful claws and a profound mastery over water, they also developed their own unique cultural significance, deeply woven into the very fabric of Japan's indigenous religion. Shinto, the Ryū, were not merely creatures of legend. They were revered as kami, which are the deities or spirits embodying natural forces and phenomena central to the profoundly important Shinto faith. This belief meant that the dragons were seen as direct manifestations of the divine, guardians of the land and its resources, rather than distant abstract entities. Their connection with bodies of water was paramount for an island nation like Japan, whose very existence depended on the sea and its unpredictable temperament. Ryū were intimately associated with the vast, churning oceans that surrounded the archipelago, the tranquil, deep lakes nestled among volcanic mountains, and the life-giving rivers that snaked through fertile plains, irrigating countless rice paddies. For generations, fishermen and sailors, whose livelihoods were constantly at the mercy of the waves, offered fervent prayers to the Ryū, seeking their protection for safe voyages and their blessings for abundant catches from the cold, deep waters. Farmers, in turn, relied on the dragons for the timely, gentle rains that nourished their crops, ensuring prosperity and preventing devastating droughts. This deep reverence for water-dwelling dragons meant that their shrines, often humble yet sacred, were strategically placed near springs, majestic waterfalls, or along the rugged, windswept coastal areas, places where the veil between the human world and the spiritual realm felt thinnest, and the dragon's presence was believed to be most potent. The air around these sacred sites often carried the scent of damp earth and the subtle sound of flowing water, a constant reminder of the Ryū's benevolent influence. One of the most prominent among the Japanese Ryū was Ryūjin, the Dragon King of the Sea. He was believed to reside in a magnificent underwater palace, the Ryūgu-jo, a dazzling realm constructed not from ordinary stone, but from shimmering coral, lustrous pearls, and precious jewels, its halls illuminated by the soft, ethereal glow of bioluminescent creatures. From this opulent hidden dwelling, Ryūjin commanded the tides, controlled the powerful ocean currents, and held sway over the countless creatures of the deep, from the smallest fish to the largest whales. Legends told of heroes and even ordinary mortals who, by fate or extraordinary circumstance, found themselves venturing into Ryūjin's awe-inspiring domain. These journeys were often fraught with peril, yet those who returned sometimes carried invaluable treasures, such as tide-controlling jewels or profound wisdom, having witnessed the unparalleled splendor and ancient knowledge held within his watery kingdom. These captivating stories underscored the dragon's role not just as formidable forces of nature, but as benevolent benefactors, possessors of ancient knowledge and bestowers of invaluable blessings upon humanity. The Japanese Ryū, like their broader Asian brethren, were rarely depicted as inherently malicious or destructive beings. Instead, their immense power was understood as a direct manifestation of nature's raw, untamed force, capable of both profound creation and sudden, overwhelming upheaval. Yet, fundamentally, this power was perceived as benevolent when properly respected and honored. They were enduring symbols of wisdom, immense strength, and abundant good fortune, often portrayed in art and folklore cradling or pursuing the mystical dragon pearl. This luminous orb was far more than a mere object. It was believed to represent the very essence of the dragon's spiritual power, its concentrated life force, and its profound wisdom. This pearl allowed the dragon to control the elements, to summon mists, to bring forth rain, and in some tales, even to grant wishes to those deemed worthy. The Ryū's breath could form dense, swirling clouds that brought forth nourishing rain. Their thunderous roars could summon powerful storms that cleansed the land, and their majestic movements could stir the deepest ocean currents. Yet these awe-inspiring displays of might were almost always in service of maintaining natural balance and cosmic order. Throughout the long tapestry of Japanese history and folklore, tales of the Ryū continued to inspire and shape the cultural landscape. They appeared in the earliest chronicles, such as the Kojiki and Nihon Shoki, in classical literature like the Tale of Genji, and in the vibrant, detailed art of woodblock prints, always conveying a sense of majesty, mystery, and a profound connection to the elemental forces of the natural world. Their ubiquitous presence in shrines, on temple roofs, and in family crests was a constant visual reminder of the delicate balance between humanity and nature, and the immense, sacred power that lay just beyond the visible world. The Ryū were more than mythical beasts. They were guardians, benefactors, and ancient beings whose very existence underscored the sacredness of water and the intricate spiritual web that connected all life on the Japanese islands, ensuring harmony and prosperity for those who understood and respected their profound influence. Their legacy continues to thrive in modern Japan, a timeless symbol of power, wisdom, and the enduring spirit of nature. Beyond the shores of Japan, as you journey south and west across the vast expanse of Asia, you encounter another remarkable manifestation of these ancient, powerful beings, the Naga. While not always depicted with the classic limbs and wings of the dragons found in Chinese or Korean lore, the Naga share profound similarities in their essence and influence, particularly their deep connection to water and their role as guardians of wealth and wisdom. These serpentine entities are central to the myths and religions of many Southeast Asian nations, including India, Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, and Indonesia, weaving themselves into the very fabric of daily life and ancient belief, an omnipresent force in the lives of the people who live by the rivers and the sea. The Naga are often portrayed as magnificent, semi-divine beings, capable of shifting between human and serpentine forms. Their most common depiction is that of a colossal snake, sometimes with multiple heads that fan out majestically, adorned with jewels or crowns, their scales shimmering with an otherworldly luminescence, embodying immense power and majesty. You might imagine their ancient eyes deep and knowing, reflecting the wisdom of centuries. They are masters of the aquatic realms, dwelling in the depths of rivers, lakes, and oceans, as well as in subterranean caverns where untold treasures are said to be kept, hidden from human greed. Their dominion over water makes them crucial to agricultural societies. They are the bringers of life-giving rain, the very essence of fertility, ensuring bountiful harvests and the ceaseless flow of vital waterways. Without their favor, drought can wither the land, turning fertile fields to dust, or devastating floods can sweep away entire communities, leaving desolation in their wake. Thus, reverence for the Naga is deeply ingrained, marked by elaborate rituals and heartfelt offerings to secure their benevolent influence, ensuring the prosperity of the land and its many people. Yet, like many powerful forces of nature, the Naga possess a dual nature, a complex balance of creation and potential destruction. While they are protectors and providers, offering abundance and guarding sacred knowledge, they can also unleash destructive fury if provoked or disrespected. Their anger might manifest as devastating floods that churn the earth, torrential storms that rip through villages, or even venomous bites that bring mysterious illnesses and misfortune to those who cross them. Therefore, people approach them with both deep veneration and a cautious, almost fearful respect, understanding that their power is immense, ancient, and must always be acknowledged. In many myths, the Naga are also seen as guardians of sacred sites and spiritual knowledge, often associated with the foundational principles of Buddhist and Hindu traditions. They are depicted as protectors of the Buddha, famously sheltering him from storms during his meditation, or as beings who received profound teachings directly from him, embodying the path to enlightenment. In Hindu mythology, the multi-headed serpent Shesha, upon whose cosmic coils Lord Vishnu rests in the primordial ocean, is a prime example of a powerful and cosmic Naga, symbolizing infinity, the fundamental support of the universe, and the very cycle of time itself. In places like Cambodia, Naga are considered the mythical ancestors of the Khmer people, their lineage tracing back to a sacred union between a human prince and a Naga princess, a foundational story that solidifies their presence at the very origin of the nation's identity and its royal lines. You see their coiled forms and multi-headed visages adorning the ancient temples of Angkor, especially at Angkor Wat, where their balustrades represent a cosmic bridge, a sacred pathway connecting the human world to the divine realms, or majestically guarding sacred entrances with their serpentine bodies. Their presence there is not merely decorative. It is a profound declaration of their protective power, their wisdom, and their integral role in the cosmic order, a silent promise of enduring strength. In Thai folklore, Naga are revered as powerful guardians of the mighty Mekong River, their presence explaining its powerful currents, its hidden depths, and its mysterious phenomena. Local legends speak of Naga fireballs, mysterious, glowing orbs of light that rise from the river's surface on certain nights, believed to be the fiery breath of these unseen powerful protectors, a spectacle that draws many observers. The concept of the Naga also extends deeply to the idea of prosperity and hidden wealth. They are often depicted guarding precious gems, glittering gold, and other untold treasures beneath the earth or within their watery abodes, making their watery palaces synonymous with unimaginable riches. This association makes them potent symbols of good fortune, abundance, and the flow of wealth. Farmers pray to them for the life-giving rain that ensures their crops flourish, merchants for the prosperity that fills their coffers, and rulers for the stability and wealth of their realms, their very crowns, sometimes adorned with Naga imagery. Their scales are sometimes described as shimmering with the brilliance of countless jewels, their eyes like precious stones, further emphasizing their connection to both material and spiritual riches. The reverence for Naga is not merely a historical relic. It continues to thrive vibrantly in contemporary culture, profoundly influencing art, architecture, traditional dance, and annual festivals. Processions featuring giant, elaborately crafted Naga effigies are common during certain festivals, particularly those celebrating water, the arrival of rain, or the beginning of the planting season, reinforcing their enduring importance in the collective consciousness and spiritual landscape of these regions. You might see their images carved into the prows of wooden boats, painted on the vibrant walls of temples, or intricately woven into exquisite textiles, a constant, beautiful reminder of their pervasive presence and ancient power. They are a testament to the diverse ways in which the dragon archetype has manifested across Asia, adapting to local beliefs and environments, yet always retaining that core essence of potent, ancient power, connected to the fundamental forces of nature, particularly water. Their stories continue to flow as vital and enduring as the mighty rivers they guard, offering protection, prosperity, and a deep, abiding sense of connection to the ancient, mystical world, guiding the lives of countless generations. Beyond the serpentine grace and shape-shifting abilities of the Naga, a deeper, more profound symbol of draconic essence permeates nearly every Asian legend, the dragon pearl. This isn't a simple gem or a mere physical object found in the earth. It is the very heart of the dragon's power, a luminous orb radiating wisdom, energy, and cosmic vitality. You might imagine it as a brilliant, glowing sphere, sometimes depicted as a fiery jewel, other times as a cool, radiant crystal, but always carrying an aura of immense, ancient power. This pearl represents the dragon's spiritual essence, the culmination of its long existence, its accumulated knowledge, and its direct connection to the fundamental forces of the universe. It is the repository of all the dragon's magical abilities and its unparalleled wisdom. Dragons are often shown in ancient art and folklore either fiercely guarding this precious pearl, holding it delicately within their mouths, or cradling it beneath their chin or in their powerful five-clawed talons. This depiction signifies that the pearl is not merely an external possession, but an intrinsic part of the dragon itself, the very core from which its strength and majesty flow. It is the focal point of their being, the source of their breath, their scales shimmer, and their control over the elements. To a dragon, the pearl is life. To steal it is to risk the dragon's wrath, a fury that can unleash devastating floods or droughts upon the land. Yet, there are tales where the dragon pearl is not merely protected, but offered. Some legends speak of worthy individuals, often heroes or wise emperors, who, through their virtue or extraordinary deeds, are deemed worthy of receiving a glimpse of the pearl's radiance, or even a fragment of its power. Such encounters are rare and transformative. A human who beholds the pearl might gain profound insight, extraordinary luck, or even a measure of the dragon's own magical abilities. However, the gift comes with immense responsibility. Its power is too great for a selfish heart, and those who seek it for greed often meet a swift and dire end. This illustrates a key aspect of Asian dragon lore. Their gifts are rarely given lightly and always carry a moral dimension. Beyond the transcendent dragon pearl, dragons bestow a multitude of other vital gifts upon humanity, blessings that underpin the very fabric of life in many Asian societies. The most crucial among these is their absolute dominion over water, making them the bringers of life-sustaining rain. In agrarian cultures, where the success of harvests dictates survival, the dragon's ability to summon clouds and unleash gentle, nourishing downpours or powerful cleansing storms was paramount. They were the deities of the rivers, lakes, and oceans, ensuring the flow of water for irrigation, for drinking, and for transport. This made them central figures in rituals and prayers aimed at securing prosperity and averting famine. Dragons also provide other forms of protection and guidance. In some stories, their scales possess healing properties, their breath can purify, and their ancient knowledge can guide lost travelers or advise rulers facing difficult decisions. They are often seen as guardians of hidden treasures, not just gold or jewels, but sacred texts, ancient wisdom, or mystical artifacts. You might hear tales of dragons defending temples from evil spirits or guiding ships safely through treacherous waters. These aren't just acts of power. They are acts of wisdom and benevolence, demonstrating the dragon's role as a protector of balance and harmony in the world. The enduring cultural presence of the dragon pearl and these other draconic gifts is evident across Asia. In China, the annual Dragon Boat Festival, with its vibrant races, is said to honor ancient traditions related to rainmaking and dragon worship. The boats themselves often adorned with dragon heads. The dynamic dragon dances performed during Lunar New Year celebrations almost universally feature a prominent dragon chasing the pearl sequence, a captivating spectacle where the dragon's movements mimic its pursuit of wisdom and good fortune. This visual metaphor symbolizes humanity's own eternal quest for enlightenment, prosperity, and a harmonious existence, with the dragon serving as both guide and ultimate goal. You see the pearl depicted in imperial regalia, in temple architecture, and in countless works of art, always representing ultimate perfection and divine blessing. The reverence for the dragon pearl and the many gifts associated with dragons underscores their fundamental role in Asian cosmology. They are not merely creatures of myth, they are embodiments of the natural world's power, its wisdom, and its capacity for benevolence. They represent the cycle of life, the balance of forces, and the promise of prosperity when humanity lives in harmony with nature. This deep respect for their power and their wisdom ensured that the legends of the dragon pearl and the dragon's many blessings continued to be passed down through generations, shaping the very soul of Asian cultures. The dragon's profound influence, stretching far beyond ancient myths and sacred texts, continues to permeate the very fabric of Asian culture, manifesting in art, animating vibrant festivals, and subtly shaping philosophical thought. It is a symbol that has not faded with time, but rather adapted, remaining a potent emblem of harmony, prosperity, and cosmic balance, a constant, comforting presence. In the realm of art, the dragon is an omnipresent motif, its sinuous form gracing everything from imperial robes to porcelain vases, from intricate temple carvings to delicate silk paintings. You see its majestic scales and flowing mane etched into the eaves of ancient pagodas, its powerful claws grasping the mythical pearl on the screens of royal palaces. Each depiction is more than mere decoration. It is a narrative in itself, conveying power, auspiciousness, and the eternal dance between heaven and earth. The artistry involved in rendering these creatures is often breathtaking, reflecting the reverence with which they are held, a profound respect for their ancient power. Sculptors carve them from stone and wood. Painters capture their ethereal presence with ink and brush, and weavers meticulously embroider them onto textiles, ensuring their spirit is woven into the very threads of daily life. The dragon's image on a ceremonial robe, for instance, spoke volumes about the wearer's status and connection to divine authority, serving as a profound inheritance from the emperors who embraced the dragon as their personal emblem. Beyond static representations, the dragon bursts into dynamic life during festivals. Perhaps the most globally recognized manifestation is the dragon dance, a spectacle of coordination, strength, and rhythmic movement, particularly prominent during Lunar New Year celebrations. Here, long, elaborate dragon puppets, often skillfully constructed from silk, paper, and bamboo, are manipulated by teams of performers. As they weave through streets to the pulsating beat of drums and gongs, the dragon appears to undulate, twist, and soar, chasing a pearl of wisdom or a flaming pearl. This dance is not merely entertainment. It is a ritualistic performance believed to ward off evil spirits, bring good fortune, and invoke the dragon's benevolent power for bountiful harvests and prosperity in the coming year, fostering community. Similarly, dragon boat races, a tradition deeply rooted in ancient China and now celebrated across Asia, feature long, narrow boats adorned with dragon heads and tails. Paddlers synchronize their movements to the beat of a drum, propelling the boat forward in a display of teamwork and fierce competition. These races are often associated with health, strength, and the collective spirit of a community, paying homage to the dragons as guardians of waterways. Philosophically, the dragon embodies principles of harmony and balance, particularly within Taoist and Confucian thought. It represents the dynamic force of creation, the very essence of the cosmos. Unlike its Western counterparts, often portrayed as destructive, the Asian dragon is a symbol of benevolent power, a bringer of rain, crucial for agriculture, and a guardian of natural resources. It is frequently associated with the concept of yin and yang, embodying the perfect equilibrium of opposing forces, strength and gentleness, heaven and earth, water and fire. This duality underscores a profound understanding of the interconnectedness of all things, where power is balanced by wisdom and might by mercy. The dragon's presence in philosophical discourse encourages a view of the world where balance leads to flourishing, where power is wielded responsibly for the greater good, and where humanity exists in harmony with the natural world. Its symbolism teaches that true strength lies not in domination, but in the ability to adapt, to flow, and to maintain equilibrium. Even in modern Asia, the dragon's presence remains undeniable. It appears in corporate logos, national emblems, and popular culture, a testament to its enduring significance. Its image continues to inspire reverence and awe, reminding people of a rich heritage where mythical creatures were not just fantastical beasts, but integral aspects of their spiritual and material well-being. The dragon stands as a timeless reminder of the profound connection between humanity and the natural world, a symbol of resilience, transformation, and the unending pursuit of prosperity and peace. Its legacy is not just historical, it is a living, breathing part of Asian identity, a whispered prayer for rain, a triumphant roar in a festival, a silent promise of good fortune, forever intertwining the mythical with the mundane.